Hello and welcome to Stuttgart and the Stuttgart region. We start right now with the session a little bit with delay. I'm very glad that you want to join us today. It's Verena Andre from Stuttgart Region Economic Development Corporation and Welcome Center. It's Susanna Hofmann from City of Stuttgart and Welcome Center.
Hi.
And Hello. And my colleague Ronja Wetschei from Stuttgart Region Economic Development Corporation and Welcome Center.
Hello.
And we have two panelists with us, Arani Das and Swati Sundararaman. I hope I spelled it well. And they will talk in the end with us about their experiences they had in coming to Stuttgart and the Stuttgart region and living here. So great to have you with us. And we'll start with a little movie about Stuttgart that in order to know a little bit better what we are talking about, where we are. And so, go on with the video right now. Thank you. Okay, so you've seen our beautiful Stuttgart and Stuttgart region, and I hope you get a better impression right now. Now I start a little bit talking about what is going on, who we are, how can we support you, and we have a talk to our panelists. So at first, Stuttgart, it's a metropolitan region, one of the most powerful regions in Europe. Here you see our beautiful opera building in the center of Stuttgart and a market square. So we have about 179 municipalities and 6 counties, including Stuttgart. And Stuttgart is also the capital of the we say Bundesland Baden-Württemberg. So we have quite a high population density for Germany, and it's also called the region of poets, philosophers, and inventors. You heard it in the first session about startups. So we have a lot of productivity and inventors here in the Stuttgart region. We also have the wine. So here you have a beautiful building about the wine. You could maybe taste yesterday. It's a very sunny countryside. and we have good cuisines here, and yeah, a lot to see in touristic aims. Castles, palaces. It's a very beautiful countryside with the mountains of the Swabian Alp and close. So here you see a little picture of Europe and the Stuttgart region. So there you see in the center Stuttgart, the capital, in the country of Baden-Württemberg, in the south of Germany. And here is another picture of Stuttgart in the center of Baden-Württemberg. So in terms of economic size, the Stuttgart region is very powerful. It's only 10% of the area, 25% of inhabitants, but more than 30% of the GDP. So we have, that's the reason we have lots of important headquarters here, multinational players. You see a lot of well-known companies. And the automotive cluster is the strongest cluster with most employed people, but we also have a strong engineering cluster in Stuttgart. We have a big service sector, and so most people are working in the service sector. We have a strong construction industry, and right now in Corona times, the construction industry is very working. In total, we have about 160,000 companies, and that's the clue, 98% are small and medium-sized or family companies like hidden champions. So what makes the Stuttgart region special is this constellation. And we are working on digitalization. You all deal with it. I think the transformation of industry, the transformation of the automotive industry is a very strong feature right now. We have a growing health and care sector. I think it's in all industry countries the case, and we have good employment perspectives, and we will talk about it later. That's the main reason why people come to Stuttgart and the Stuttgart region, or of course there are family reasons, but the strong employment perspectives. So I want to give the word now to my colleague Susanne Hofmann, and she will explain how we can support you from Welcome Center Stuttgart.
Hello and warmly welcome from the Welcome Center in Stuttgart. My colleague, Mr. Andre, already said everything what we have in Stuttgart and the region. What we also have is a Welcome Center Stuttgart. And I will, in these 10 minutes or a little bit more, I will introduce you what we're doing really. What is the reason why we have a Welcome Center in Stuttgart, and what we're doing here, and how we support people that are coming to Stuttgart and the region. There are a lot of reasons. One or few of these the reason already mentioned, Ms. Andre, but I will say one of the biggest and very important reason is while we are an international city, it means we have a population that's very, very unusual. We have more than 45% from the population, they are migrants and their families in the next generation. We have 55% of people, they have no migration background. We have a very strong integration policy in Stuttgart. This will be supported years and years ago from every major that we have in the city of Stuttgart. We have, of course, very, very strong economic factors already mentioned. We have, in the same time, of course, a shortage of skilled workers. And they are the main reason, indeed, why we make a welcome center. We build it a special welcome center. I will show you why it's a special welcome center. Then there is no welcome center from one side, for example, from the side of the politician, from the community only. Of course, we are from the city of Stuttgart, from the Department of Integration, indeed, but not alone. Not like a community to say, we would like to show you what is everything in Stuttgart possible to do, to live, to be, to have part of, to be part of. We take the Stuttgarter Region Economic Development and cooperate and make it with the Welcome Service Stuttgart Region and support it by the immigration services, by our migration services during the advising, during the information hours, everybody who is will to come to Stuttgart and the region and to stay here with a family, to work, to study, and so on. In any case, we are such kind of central point of contact for everything, for individual advisors in Stuttgart and the region, to help them to give an possibility to come to Stuttgart, to increase their German language, to have information about requirements to come to Germany, to apply for permission, to search for a job, and to make an application, to find a place for the children in kindergarten or schools, social services, and a lot more. At the same time, of course, to create a welcoming culture in our society. And who is doing that? I already mentioned the three parts. They're building the Welcome Center. And here our huge, beautiful group. We are speaking not only German and English, we're speaking 10 another languages in Welcome Center, while we know when the beginning is always a little bit not so easy, as the person need a support. Sometimes the supporting in their own language is even very, very important. Or just to hear that languages are very important for our society, for Stuttgart and for the region. Then we are working very interesting in beautiful rooms where we don't, we have no special separated rooms, just one very, very large and big room. And we are working all 4 or 5 of my colleagues at the same time in a presence when we are dort, when we are here, and we consultate each other. We are bringing a lot of information from the side where we are coming, from the community, from the economy, from the migration offices. The people, they have a lot of experience with the immigration. So we are helping each other. At the same time, we help everybody who is coming and ask and to have an advice and support and information at the same time. Then a little bit statistic. I think it's especially in this this special year that we have, the last year with Corona, we have a lot of calls, of course, and a lot of emails. Normally is just another build or another. You could say the most of the person are coming to Stuttgart or in the region and they visit us. But this year was something very special. Total amount between 2014 and today, we have more than 20,500 visitors in our database. Visitors, I'm always saying, people there just are asking through telephone are also our visitors or send us an email. We're very, very proud that the females and males are already fast the same quote. Thank you. I already said when the people are coming from another country and come to somewhere else to start to live here with their families, there is no question what will not be very important. But the most frequently questioned topics are language, of course. Some people come with language skills, but they improve it here, or just searching for a job or residence permission, living, vocational training and studies. There is nothing really what will not be asked here, and that's why we are of course here. We make that to show you how important India to us is. It was always in a topic between 1 or 3 or 5, but then last year it happened something very, very interesting. India is the first of the most of the person who contact and calling us and sending me emails come from India, over the 18% even, yeah. We have, but I must say that I'm very, very proud to have this number, more than 150 different citizens, person with different citizenship are already in our database. So it's very, very important. And the most of them are coming from the third countries, what is not so easy, of course. We have some particularities. We have some very special. I already mentioned at the beginning, it's important, very, really important, very important to help the people that are coming here and to be at the beginning with them, to give them possibilities to settle down and to manage all the questions and what they have. But at the same time, it's very, very important to take our society to join this process, that the newcomers can be part here in very, very quickly and be accepted. That's why we have some voluntary program. We call it Willkommenspaten, welcome Bades. Volunteers, people who have always between 80, 90 persons, they want to combine somebody who is coming to Germany, coming to Stuttgart, coming in the region for a while. During the beginning to learn German together, to drink coffee together, to search for a kindergarten or a school for the children, or to search for a job. We prepare this person, of course, because we give them some trainings. What is that? What expected, what the newcomers already very, very often ask. And that is very, very nice. We campaign that the newcomers, they have somebody, they're not alone. Then we have some special offers for a special target group. I already said at the beginning, we're trying everybody to conclude in this welcome center, everybody, the reasons why they're coming they are not important. But the international students are something very important to us. We really don't want that the students are coming here and starting and then go. We do everything to give the student possibilities to stay here, even when if it's not only temporary. That's why we make different things like welcome club or nights, excursions, give them possibility to come together, to learn people in the city, to have friends. Then we're trying to the networking, what they are with different university or another student advice services to connect for them and give this information to have it if they need it. And we do a lot of more. Please, Miss Andre.
Yes, we have a lot of events in the Welcome Center, regulars tables, for example, for international students, but also series about living and working in Stuttgart and the region in English mostly or in different languages. And we have information events about job search. For example, tonight we have such an event. Right now, due to Corona, we have this events online, like webinars, and normally, if it will be possible, we will have the trainings again for the persons in Stuttgart. And then we have special receptions for target groups, for example, new professionals or international students. And as Mrs. Hofmann already mentioned, we also give trainings about different topics, about learning German, residence questions, and for other partners, because the welcome culture or welcome system, I would say, it's only working through all partners. So the Welcome Center is the first point, the first advisory point, and then we spread the people to different consultation agencies. And therefore, we have a huge partner support network with the local employment agencies, with the chambers of industry and commerce, the foreign registration office, universities, communities, volunteers, student unions, the universities in Stuttgart and around Stuttgart, and a network of welcome centers in Baden-Württemberg, with which we work closely together in order that people want to go to a different region from Baden-Württemberg. So one special service is a welcome service also for companies in the Stuttgart region who want to hire people from abroad. We offer for Stuttgart companies and companies from the Stuttgart region, and we try to connect professionals with the companies from the Stuttgart region. We organize job fairs for them. We give information events in the Stuttgart region for this target groups, and we also have a dual career program in order to help the spouses from professionals who already work here to find jobs. And you find more information on our website on this, and our great testimonials will talk a little bit about these programs in more detail. So finally, this is again our contact. Our address, we are right in the center of Stuttgart. You see this beautiful building. We are close to the castle, the old castle and the new castle. You find our opening hours and our email address. You can call us. And we also have a stand right now in the Weinfest. So you can also connect to us through the platform and write us, chat with us, or make an appointment to me and my colleagues from the city of Stuttgart, and also to Mrs. Wetschei. So right now, this is the end of the presentation, and we are right now lucky to have a discussion and with two new or quite new people from India who came to Stuttgart and want to share their experiences with us.
Thank you, Verena. So hello and welcome everybody. As mentioned before, my name is Ronja Vessi and I'm a consultant at the Welcome Center Stuttgart, and I work for the Stuttgart Region Development Corporation. I'm very glad you both, Arani Das and Swati Sundararaman, take the time to participate in Stuttgart's Meet Mumbai today. Thank you both so much for being here. So as my colleague Verena just said, both of you are originally from India and now live in Stuttgart. Therefore, it's very interesting for all of us to hear about the experience you had when you moved to Stuttgart. I met you, Swati, in the first few months after you moved to Stuttgart in 2019, when you came to the Welcome Center Stuttgart for information. And Arani, we met when you participated in the workshop from the Dual Career Program while you were still living in Mumbai. So now let's start. We should talk and hear more about your experiences. So my first question goes to Swati. Swati, you've been living in the UK and France before you moved to our beautiful Stuttgart. Now you've already been living here for the past 1.5 years. And I really would like to know, what is it that brought you to Germany and especially to Stuttgart in the first place?
So hello everybody and hello Rania. First of all, it's a pleasure to join you today here and thank you for inviting me to do these questions and this interview to help others learn about the Indian experience in Stuttgart. So to answer your first question, I had been married before I came to Stuttgart. So marriage brought me to Stuttgart. My husband had been living in this region for the past 10 years. We had both decided that I would be moving to Germany. And the reasons being that Germany had a great quality of life and also a great stable economy to form a good career here being in Europe.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. That is actually the case we often have in the consultation at the Welcome Center. So really nice to hear from you. And Arani, you're originally from the West Bengal and you lived and worked in Mumbai and New York in investment banking before you moved here. And what was your reason to came here to Germany, and especially why did you choose Stuttgart?
Thank you, Ronya, for having me as well. I'm happy to help others who want to make the same transition. So to answer your question, my reason was also similar to Swati's. I got married last year, and like you mentioned, I was earlier working in investment banking in Mumbai, and for some time I was also in the US. My husband also was in the US. He was doing his PhD there. But afterwards, he got offered a position as a guest scientist at Max Planck in Stuttgart. And so we decided to make the move to Germany. It seemed like a very good position for him, as well as I could explore new career opportunities here. So that is why we decided to move to Germany and specifically Stuttgart.
Okay, thank you. That's also very interesting. And I see you both have this in common, and it really seems as if you have really great opportunities here in Stuttgart. So Swati, before you moved to Germany, you've already been living in Europe for quite a while, and you probably already adjusted a little bit to the European lifestyle. But yeah, however, these first few months in Stuttgart were probably still a big change for you. Please tell us a bit about your experiences.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So yes, Ronnie, I'd been living quite some time in France, and then, like you said, moved to the UK for a bit. So I had been used to the European lifestyle, so to say. But yes, the first few months here in Germany were both exciting and also nervous for me. My year was still very getting used to the German language, and as well you had to learn about the cultural nuances in Germany. We know that every country has vast differences in Europe in terms of the cultural nuances and also the day-to-day things, how they worked in Germany, as well how to find a job, how to get my documents in order, how to find classes for German. So yeah, it was exciting, and I had started German classes at the Volkshochschule in Stuttgart Mitte. This was as well a great opportunity to find my own friends and make my own social group. So these were pretty much a summary of my first few months here in Germany.
Okay, thank you. I really can see it's a big challenge for everyone to move to a different country. And to me, it sounds as if you managed it very well and you integrated yourself so well and found friends through the language school. That's so wonderful to hear. And I would really like to know if you feel of Stuttgart as your home already by now.
Yeah, I've been quite a wanderer myself, so I don't. I've been switching homes quite a bit. So yes, it did take a good 6 months to start having a feel of home at Stuttgart, and also that got more solidified when I found my current job. So that was a starting point of having everything together and started feeling at home.
Okay. Yes, thank you. That sounds really inspiring, Swati. Thank you. And now, Arani, to you. Oh, sorry, no, Swati.
Sorry, there's a question on the chat. Do we answer it now, or is it for later?
We will answer them later. It's about the visa process. And yeah, so we'll get back to that later. But thank you for looking at it too. It's perfect.
Yeah, sure.
So Arani, how were the first few weeks for you after arrival? Because you just moved to Stuttgart in the end of last year, and it must have been quite a challenging time to move during COVID. So how did you manage the quarantine and everything you had to prepare in advance?
So we kind of moved right in the middle of the pandemic. So it was a challenging experience, I would say. It was a little difficult because we were back in India and not all the consulates were open to process applications. So we kind of got delayed in our initial moving plans. But finally, everything hopefully worked out. And we were also trying to navigate all these regulations around air travel with not all flights operating between countries. So we kind of had to take a longer route to arrive and stay in the mandatory quarantine initially till we got our negative test results. But thankfully, we had a lot of support system here with our living arrangements being taken care of from before. So we had a place to stay in the first few weeks while we were in quarantine. And we were kind of figuring out the way of life over here. So I think it was a little a challenging experience, but thankfully everything worked out in the end.
Okay, wow. To me, it really does sound as if it was not an easy time, and I can only imagine how challenging it must have been. But you organized it so well, even with the provided food by the by your house. So that's really good to hear that it works also during COVID. So yeah, and earlier you told me that you found us friends through the buddy program of the city of Stuttgart. How was that experience for you? It's because we often hear about it, that this program exists, but it's really nice to hear it now from you.
Yeah, so I think I got really lucky that I could connect so early with the Welcome Center, and I found a welcome buddy through this program. Given that I had moved in the middle of the pandemic, I think it was very difficult to go out or meet new people or network through any language school or workplace. So it really helped to have this program in place where I could connect with someone, make a new friend, because in this new city I didn't know many people. So it was very nice to be able to meet someone, to have a friend to talk to through this buddy program. And she has also been helping me with learning the language. So I get to practice a bit of German with her, see new places. So it's really been a great experience so far, and I would encourage everyone to give this a try. And at least I think it works even if you're not reaching any career goals or language goals. It's always good to have a friend to talk to.
Yes, that's so true, and it sounds quite nice. I can really see that this body program really helped you to get to know Stuttgart a bit. And Swati, you said you met people during your language classes that helped you to settle in.
Certainly. So I'd met my first social group formed at the language classes, and that certainly helped me have a sense of having some friends of my own here and exploring the city a bit with them and having some first experiences here in Stuttgart.
Okay, thank you. And Swati, you found your new job shortly after your arrival in Stuttgart. How was the process of job hunting for you?
Bit hard at start because I hadn't gotten my documents very much in order. But Rania, you at the Welcome Center was the first point of correcting them, be it my CV or my cover letter. So thank you very much for that. And I'd also been an alumni of a business school in France, and they had a campus here in Berlin, in Germany. So I had attended a job fair there, and I had also the chance to correct some of my documents there and also get some contacts towards finding a job here in Germany. So that did help a lot. As well, I was looking at job sites such as stepstone.de, Zing, and put my profile up everywhere, including LinkedIn. And eventually I had been to an open day here in Stuttgart at my current company, and eventually led to a successful interview. And at the end of the year 2019, I found sort of the profile I was looking for, and also the working conditions that I was looking for. I'm very, very happy about that.
Wow, you put in a lot of effort, but you succeeded so fast. That must have been a really good feeling for you. And I'm glad, yeah, and I'm glad we could help you at the Welcome Center. And yeah, that's
thank you so very much again.
You're welcome. That's always so nice to hear. And Arani, you participated in the dual career program of the Stuttgart Region Development Corporation. For everyone who doesn't know the program, it's a program offered by us and by my colleague, Dr. Katrin Silber, and it supports people that move to the Stuttgart region with their spouses in finding their job. And so Arani, you joined that program while you were still in India. How was that process, and how is the job hunting process still going for you?
So yeah, I could join the Dual Career Network because my husband's institute is part of the network, and I could take advantage of that. So it has been a very helpful experience to be able to attend the workshops that's part of the Dual Career Network. It really helped me to get my application ready and in order. Be able to understand how a German application works, what the CV should look like, how to write a cover letter. So it's been a great experience. And yes, like you mentioned, I was able to join it from India itself. So that was again an advantage that worked out in my favor. I think in COVID times, given that everything was happening online, I could join the program workshops and everything. And so I think it really gave me the advantage of being able to start very early so that I was not losing out on a lot of time after moving to Stuttgart, where I was spending time figuring out the system or how to get my application ready. So in the last couple of months when I was in India, I could attend these programs and I could get everything ready so that it really put my application more on a fast track when I moved here. I was already prepared. I knew what to expect, and now I'm making these applications. So I think it's been a very helpful and collaborative experience. So I'm really thankful to Catherine and everyone in the Dual Career Network.
Okay, yeah, thank you. It actually sounds quite helpful that you could already start with the whole process while you were still in India, and yeah, that's really good to know. Yeah, and so we always recommend everyone to start learning German before moving to Germany, and of course it's really hard thing to do, and the thing is, it's just easier to integrate yourself in Germany and to find a job and everything. And yeah, I'm still really interested in how it was for you to learn German and to starting learning German. So Swati, please tell me, how were your experiences with learning German, and how is it for you to speak?
Yeah, definitely. So I had started doing the first level of German, the A1, the A1, at Goethe Institute in India, just before I had reached Germany, because it was recommended that I pass this level before arriving in Germany. And after arriving in Germany, I had started with A2 level, like I said, at the Volkshochschule in Stuttgart. This was part of the Integrationsschools and the Orientierung schools that I was expected to do as I was married to a German citizen. So this, I had completed these successfully in the first 6 months that I was in Germany. And after I started my job, I was even more fortunate that my company paid for further development for German courses. So I'm doing since January for B2 and now fortunately C1 with my company's help. So I like German a lot, and I find that it's a really nice language for communication and very structured, and but in no terms easy. So for me, I had been fortunate as well. I had learned foreign language earlier, be it with French, and with German. I find my currently my listening and reading are well honed, but my speaking and writing are still developing, and I'm working to get better at these aspects of the language.
Yeah, learning a new language is never easy, and you put so much motivation in, and I think it's really inspiring for others to hear how fast you learned German. Yeah, and Arani, so you just arrived a few months and you started learning German also, and I think you learned it mostly online due to COVID, right? How is that for you, and are you able to practice it in your daily life?
Yeah, so I started learning German after moving to Stuttgart, and like given it was in the middle of the Corona situation, everything is was online. So I've been attending bi-weekly classes online, which I think also works out well for me because it gives me time to focus on my other activities, focus on job applications while learning the new language. So yeah, it's been a good experience so far learning the language, and I'm slowly starting to pick up more on the speaking side. So I try to speak as much as possible in the day-to-day life, maybe in the supermarket or in the bus to buy tickets, or even in the cafe to order a coffee. So I'm just trying to integrate it into my day-to-day life as much as possible. I've also been practicing it a lot with my buddy, the which I mentioned earlier in the Welcome Center buddy program. So that has also been very helpful in helping me speak and have a little bit more of the practice of the language. So yeah, it's been a good experience so far, and I hope to be better at it soon.
Thank you. Yeah, you are really lucky to still have the possibility to learn it online, and I imagine it to be quite hard. Yeah, but you really found ways to practice it, and it sounds as if you got the best out of it, and as you're really trying to practice it with your body and while you're outside in the grocery store. It's really good tip. So now I'm coming to the last questions, and I have like two more for each of you. So I would really like to know if there's anything you would like to give out as a tip for others that might want to move to Stuttgart.
Shall I take this up first?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes,
Shall
sure.
I take it up first, the question?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, the challenges were well in there and they were very frequent. I just would give out a small tip to everybody who's trying to move to Germany from another country to be a bit open-minded in the start. We are in a foreign country with a different language, so we are trying to understand everything contextually in another language that's completely new to us. So just open-mindedness to learning the language, and also there are so many others who are in the same situation as we are. So for me, it was really nice to be taking help and giving help to these others, keeping ourselves connected with the information flow, and also form a really, when you have the chance to form a good group of support and friends. And also stay in frequent touch with your family back home, let them know what you're going through, and have good concrete goals, and also keep working towards these goals, however challenging it might get.
Thank you. I think these are very helpful tips and might be inspiring for others. And Rani, how or what would you suggest to others?
So I think what I would suggest first is to take advantage of there's this wonderful network of support in Stuttgart, be it the Welcome Center or through the Dual Career Program. So I would suggest that everyone should have a good information background and then take advantage of this support as early on as possible, because there's this wonderful network that you can tap into, and it really helps to take expert advice and help in your entire process, be it learning the language or even job application. So the earlier you start, I think the better it is to for you. And I think it can get a little frustrating at times because you're adjusting to a new place as well as trying to achieve so many things at the same time. So to not lose patience and to stay connected and to uh, share with a friend and take help wherever necessary, so that you can just fast track the process and get settled and achieve your goals as soon as possible.
Thank you, Arani. So these are very helpful tips as well. And I take with me being well informed, open-minded, and patience is probably very helpful for everyone. So now the last question, it's a bit personal. And I would really like to know what the two of you like the most about Stuttgart and the region.
I like Radfahren, so I like a lot cycling in the region, and also I really do like the time spent with my group of friends there, and also nature is brilliant here in Stuttgart. So also a great place for good job opportunities, good stable economy, and very lovely place to live.
Thank you, Swati. I also really like the nature here and the places. And Arani, how about you?
Yeah, even I would say I really like the nature and the scenic countryside feel of Stuttgart while being right in the middle of the city. So you have these numerous forests, gardens, parks that are like one step away from the city center, and it's a great place to be outdoors, especially in these times. So to go for a walk, to be able to be so close to the city while also being right in the middle of nature, I think is a very nice thing. And this is something I really like about Stuttgart. I've been exploring some of these places with my buddy, and it's been a wonderful experience. So I think that's my what I like most about the city is this is like so connected to nature while also being so vibrant as a city.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of people have the same thoughts. I have it too. It's just a really, yeah, like you say, really close. And the city is there, and then you have the lovely countryside. And Stuttgart is also really nice, located between the Black Forest and the Schönbuch and the Swabian Alp. These are national parks. So yeah, it's really, really nice, and you have the job opportunities. So thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And both of you are so focused and ambitious, and your experience were very inspiring to me. And I'm sure they were inspiring to others as well. I wish you all the best to your future. And yeah, now back to you, Verena.
Thanks,
Hey,
Ronya.
thank you very much for this interview, and we stay with you because there are many questions in the chat, and I want to pass the questions right now. So maybe there was one question about the dual career program. So at first, maybe we can clarify about that a little bit. How about the costs? Does it cost anything? Can anybody take part? And how long does it take? Do you want to answer, Ronja?
Yes, of course. Yeah. So the dual career program is for people that are the spouse of someone who moved here to Stuttgart and works at certain companies. We can send you the link of the program where you can find more detailed information about it. And usually there are several workshops you participate. And yeah, it's just usually there are 4 blocks. But maybe Arani wants yeah, to explain how it works exactly.
Yeah, sure. I'll be happy to explain. So like Ronya mentioned, the Dual Career Network is there if your spouse is working here and it's part of a company which is part of the network, and you can really take advantage of all the workshops that Catherine and her team conducts. So the workshops are divided into 2 blocks, like Ronya mentions. The first part is explains what the program is all about and how they can help, and then they walk you through what is a normal application package consists of in Germany. So how your CV should look like, and what is a cover letter, and what all the companies look for. And then there are some sessions where people or HRs from different companies come in to share their views. If you have any questions, you can directly put it to them and they can answer. So this is the first bit of the workshop, and the second part is mostly on implementing some of the things that were shared in the first half. So there's a practice for making the CV and running it through with the experts on the workshop, so they can give you comments on how to make it better, how to make it more suitable for the German job market, and how what to put in a cover letter. And there's also some options to do kind of like a practice interview where they share tips, given like now everything is working in an online format, so there's how that can be a little different from a normal in-person interview, or given we are in a different situation now, and maybe there's not a lot of opportunities for physical job fairs or things like that happening. So what other initiatives or online events or things that you can take advantage of, or how to better do in your job search. So that's some of the things which are covered in the later half of the workshop. Is also the possibility of doing a practice run or of an interview in German or English. So most of the workshops, at least in the initial phases, are in English. So it's very helpful to understand. And then depending on what is your level of German, whether you want to continue the second part in German, whether you want to do a practice in German. So that's the second part of the workshop, and it's typically spread out over a couple of months. So I think it's pretty fast track that way, that you can learn all this and while making applications in parallel.
Yes, thank you for explaining us more in more details. And it's a company program, so the company needs to be member, and then it doesn't cost anything to the members, to the spouses of the professionals of the companies. So because the company is member in the program, and it's also a network of companies, and they help each other, and so maybe it's also a network to get jobs in that companies. And yeah, we can give you more information in our booth, so you can chat with us. And there was another question, if you can take part in our sessions. Obviously, yes, because right now we offer every information session online, and you can just take place if you have the technical possibilities. And you can take part from India or US or Spain, wherever. And it doesn't cost anything. You just need the technical, the link, and you can inscribe yourself. You can register for that. So you see our information events on our website, welcome.region-stuttgart.de, or on the city website. So we have this information there, or you can write us in the booth of the Welcome Center, and we give you the link. And so there was another question that might be interesting for all newcomers to Stuttgart. So what about the residence process, the visa application process, Arani and Swati? How did it work? Maybe Swati, you start.
Yeah, definitely. So I had applied, I had taken a short break after my stay in the UK, and I had moved back to India. So I applied for the visa to Germany from India. And I had applied for a category called the family reunion visa, joining my husband in Germany, for reasons to join my husband in Germany. The visa application process was rather short in my case. I had just made all my documents ready. And once I had the marriage certificate, almost the day just after I got married, I had my visa interview. Yes, having my applications in order, my husband's documents in order, so that he had Meldebescheinigung, and he had a job in Germany, and also helped that he had the German passport, and he had a place enough to host me. So a few other documents were required from his side. Not much from my side, considering I was marrying a German citizen. And also to support my visa application, I had submitted my successful A1 certificate of German. It was not necessary, but it was recommended to have this submitted. So the visa was with me in about 2 weeks' time, 2 to 2.5 weeks' time. I don't remember the exact time duration, but yes, I had just after a month of getting married, I was already in Germany. Also, good amount of follow-up from my husband's side at the Amt in Esslingen to make sure that the visa was also granted well in time. And after I came to Germany, there was part of the marriage verification. And then I got my visa extended to a permanent stay. Yes, for about 3 years, I've gotten the visa at this point, after which I can apply for the German pass, is what I've been told.
So thank you. This is very fast. 2 weeks. So right now, with Corona,
definitely. No, this was earlier than Corona, so 2019. Also, a lot of follow-up from my husband's side, so more credits to him than anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So this let us hope that it will be better again after Corona. And Arani, how was it for you in not so easy times right now?
Yeah, so it was a little different from me, given it I was applying right in the middle of Corona. Again, for us, both me and my husband had returned from the US and we were back in India. So we were applying from India. And initially, when we had planned to move, I think all the consulates in India, the German consulate in India was closed. It got delayed a bit. So my husband was applying in the guest researcher category, and I applied in the family reunion category. So both of us applied for our visas together. So again, I think this is something that some people are not sure of whether they can be applied together, or whether one spouse already needs to be in the country first and then the family reunion can be applied. So I think so some people get delayed because of that, but we made our application together and it worked out for us. Uh, so uh, it was a little challenging to get an initial appointment at the consulate because once they opened, there was this sudden rush where everyone who was applying wanted to get an appointment. So that was a little difficult for us to get the appointment. So I think it took us about a month to get that initial appointment. But once we got the appointment, it again worked out pretty fast. I think we after the appointment, my documents too were very similar to what Swati mentioned. So because we were applying together, I think my husband got his it just worked out that way that he got his appointment a little earlier than me. And so he got his visa by the time I was due for my appointment, which was like a week later. So I could show that my husband has already been granted the visa and I wanted to travel together with him. So that also kind of fast tracked my application process and I got my visa within a week so that we could travel together.
So this sounds quite good. Also in Corona times, I guess so. Visa applications, they are working, and sometimes it takes a little bit more time. But I think you both were quite lucky. Mrs. Hofmann, how can the Welcome Center help with visa applications, or what do you would recommend to people who want to come to Stuttgart right now?
Thanks. I'm very, very happy to hear that in the two cases, what we have, it was very, very quickly, and it was very, easy, fast. I can say the most of the people have another experiences, Corona, but not only Corona, because the process is sometimes very long. I mean, it's very important to say it's different when somebody is high professional. Skilled professionals have another permission than people they are trying to come with different visa. We have almost, I don't know, almost 70, more than 70 different permission. And that's why the people have different experiences. And sometimes, and the most important thing is to collect all the papers what you need when you go to apply. When it's something not there, the application cannot be taken. That's why you need the second one. And very often it's happened like that something is not there. Some kind of paper that you have to find, to, I don't know, translate or something like that. And that's why it's always going longer and longer. But that is the first one. What we are doing in Welcome Center, what we always say, please ask before you just go and make an application. Ask, for example, here Welcome Center, send us an email or just call and ask what kind of papers, what do I need to apply for this kind of visa? Because there is no one kind of visa, there are different ones. And that's why it will be very, very well when they take information. Somebody from you say already before in another question, informed you. Of course, learn the language. When you start in German, it's easier, but inform you. That is the very important thing. When we send always a lot of information. We show even where you can see our embassies have for 1 year ago make such kind of system, the Navi system. It means when you go to our embassy and search for a visa, there is a link called Navi. You can be navigated to the right visa. When we show the people where they can go, they say us, I need a visa for family reunion. Then we show them how can they search through this Navi system to have all the information, what they need even to apply for this kind of visa. Yeah? Information, I think that is the important thing when they would like to come and to start to speak with us.
Yes. Thank you. And we also give information about family reunion visa, different countries. So you can always ask us. You don't have to pay for this information, so it's only it's helpful, and it can make it easier for you to ask before the process starts. So there was another question of somebody who is a merchandiser in garment export house, and you're interested to migrate to Stuttgart. So this is another case to migrate as a merchant, to open up a company. There was a session for startups. I don't know, maybe they told something about that. And you can see maybe in the city of Stuttgart booth, there are some flyers about company owners, and they also give advice in English how this works. But you can also write us in the Welcome Center, and we will give you the information about whom to contact, what are the needs for a visa application as a company owner. And another question that's also for Arani and Swati. How is the Indian community in Stuttgart? So who wants to start? Arani, maybe, or Swati?
Yeah, okay,
Okay,
sure. I can start.
Okay.
Yeah, so given I moved in the middle of a pandemic, I haven't got a chance much to interact or meet a lot of people in the Indian community. But from what I hear is it's a vibrant community in India. I have met a few people, but just in passing, maybe in the grocery store or in the city. But I think once things get better, hopefully they get better soon. It gives us a chance to connect more in the community and meet more new people.
Thank you. And you, Swati, you had more time to get to know more people from India, I think.
Definitely, I have some common friends with my husband and from his circle, rather, who are part of my friends of Indian nationality. I myself haven't had much of a chance to be part of these groups that conduct Indian events and festivals. I was hoping to be part of them this year, but unfortunately the pandemic had come about. So I do hear that as well as a very vibrant cultural scene. And so nothing to worry, there are a lot of Indians in Stuttgart. You will meet a lot of them, and very friendly people, nice community with a lot of information sharing. And yes, and they form a large part of the experience as well, living away from home.
Yes, thank you. I don't know, maybe Ronja, you want to add something, or Mrs. Hofmann also told that most people who came in the last year were from India, who came to the Welcome Center. So that's a big community. We also have this wine festival, Stuttgart Mumbai. So there's a strong connection, and there are more information about Indian movie festival, for example. So there's quite a lot going on from the community, and you can get to know. And also Mrs. Dobridge from the consultancy Honorar Consulat. So they offer support for the Indian community. So there are lots of, I think that there are lots of events and something going on. And yeah, so there's a strong connection also within the Indian professionals, I think, working in the companies. Yeah, Ronja, do you want to add something or?
I know that there are a lot of Indian people in Stuttgart that live there and are very engaged in sports. So by the time maybe one day when all the sports facilities and clubs open again, it's also a great opportunity to get to know another people from India during these sports clubs.
Yes, thank you. So right now we are in maybe the final part of a lockdown, and next week schools opened up in this week, and so we hope that also sporting facilities, grocery stores are working, but more shops will open up, and so that more connections and meet people is possible. So there's another question. Thank you for your answers, Swati and Arani. So there's another question. Will the Welcome Center also support while searching for a job? And maybe, Ronja, how do we support people who are searching for jobs?
So we have several events a year. And for example, every 2 months, we have an event that's called Successful Application. There we will just explain how does the job hunting in Germany work usually, how does the whole application process work, what do you need to think of when you hand in your documents, what did you where do you need to pay extra attention to. And today in the evening Germany time at 6 o'clock we actually have an event like this. It's called Successful Application. And if you want to participate, you can. Otherwise, you can just participate next time. And right now, we also offer that we will go with you over your CV online, because at the Welcome Center, we usually take a short, quick at the CVs, of course, but right now we do that online. So if you're interested in that, you can also just send us a little message to the booth of our Welcome Center here in the homepage. Yeah, and
thank you.
Yeah, I think that's enough, right?
So I would say normal times we also organize fairs where professionals can meet companies. Right now it's limited because meetings are not allowed for many people, but we will restart this again when the lockdown is lifted, and we give information about job fairs and get connected to companies. And of course, the dual career program is also a possibility to get in touch with companies. Okay, so I hope we could answer this question a little bit. There's another one. So first of all, thank you for this interactive session. I would like to know if Welcome Center can also support if I want to search for a job in Germany. I'm currently in India, have strong working experience in German companies and have master degree in German. Okay, so these are very specific questions. Please write us an email or connect to the booth. because it always depends on the profession, on your background, so we cannot answer such detailed questions or specific questions right here, but please write us an email or yes, connect to us, and then we can answer in more detail. Then there's another question. You were talking about workshops, would like to know about that as well. If possible, please send the link as well. Okay, so we can send you the link to the workshops, and maybe we can also upload our events on the boot, our current event on the boot, so that you can find more information there or write us in the chat. Mrs. Hofmann, yes.
I would like there are questions that typically for our chat. I think I would like to remind the people they are just listening us and have a questions to use this possibility, as we will be in chat until Friday, and not only during our working times here, phone and email, and our chat functions. Please use it, but that's a typically question for this way of communication. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, exactly. And there are many more great persons from the Welcome Center in the chat, many colleagues of us. And you will get to know more people from Welcome Center if you have a look on our booth in the Wine Festival. So I think maybe we make a last round. So we run out of time. So how do you, what do you want to suggest, Ronja, if somebody wants to come to Stuttgart? What would you would suggest to the Indian audience?
I would actually suggest them to inform themselves before coming to Stuttgart. Just send an email to the Welcome Center in Stuttgart and just get all your documents and everything ready before you come. And then when you're in Germany or in Stuttgart, obviously, come by the Welcome Center as well. And yeah, I think that would be my suggestion. Just prepare yourself really well.
Thank you. Mrs. Hofmann, so what would you suggest?
Thank you very much. I will suggest the same things what Ms. Vechai said. Of course, the information are the first and very important thing. Contact us. We are very glad when we have questions and people contact us from abroad. We know that when they contact us at a time when they're in their home countries, it's easier to integrate. It's easier to start. That is the first thing. At the same thing, I would like to say thank you. I would like to say thank you that you choose our country. While we are very happy when we have a city that's so international like ours is. It's easier to live over here. It's fine to see different people, different culture, different stories, different languages. It's just fine. And just come. And we are very, very sure that it will not be a very long time, and we will open our Welcome Center and we will meet each other in these super wonderful rooms. Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Frau Dobrich, and thank you very much for this super event. And thank you that you speak to us, both of you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Hofmann. Mrs. Swati and Arani, do you want to add something, recommendations?
I think Ronja and both of you kind of covered everything. So I don't have anything much to add from my end.
Okay, thank you. Swati?
Yes, so definitely do seek the help of the Welcome Center. It's a really great value addition in your job seeking process and your integration process. They are the starting point of what the Stuttgart region is, and they have a help offering your movement inside the region. Also keep at it while other sources, and the job seeking process is difficult. But you will get there with time and effort.
Thank you so much being with us and sharing your experiences. Thank you for the interview, Ronja. Thank you, Mrs. Hofmann, and so thank you all for also asking us questions. So yes, see you in the booth or later on, and we hope that you contact us and. Yes, we are there to answer your questions. So thank you all for this great session and goodbye.
Thank you all so much, and thank you, Arani and Swati.
Thank you for the opportunity.